Mercedes just did exactly what F1 feared, so we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Mercedes news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Mercedes added drastic targets for Lewis Hamilton and Russell for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Toto Wolff has stated that he is hoping for 2 podium finishes for Lewis Hamilton and George Russell in the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi, following yet another difficult weekend. This time at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. The Silver Arrows took the checkered flag, with Russell running down in P8 and Hamilton 1 place further up the order in P7. However, those results did not tell the full story of a Grand Prix that offered up plenty of moments of chaos for both of their drivers. A 10-point haul was nothing short of a disaster for Mercedes' hopes of finishing second in the Constructors' Championship. With Charles Leclerc snatching P2 on the final lap and Carlos Sainz classified in P6, Ferrari made up considerable ground in that battle, cutting the Silver Arrows' advantage to just 4 points ahead of the season finale. Discussing his hopes for the final race of what has been a testing 2023 campaign, Wolff didn't hold back in his targets. He told Sky Sports F1, "We have seen pace-ish today. I think we can hopefully recover and score solid podiums." The Mercedes boss was also feeling positive about the inaugural Las Vegas GP, stating, "I wouldn't change a lot. I would change qualifying maybe from midnight to 10 p.m., like the race start, so you can still have the roads open long at Vegas and have dinner for the fans. Other than that, it was a perfect event." While the result was extremely frustrating when the checkered flag waved, both Russell and Hamilton demonstrated some impressive pace with their recovery drivers. The latter was caught up in a lap 1 tangle with Sainz and also suffered a puncture following a racing incident with Oscar Piastri, but still managed to recover to the points. "A really challenging race," Hamilton told Sky Sports F1. "I started on the hard tire, which was tricky at the beginning. I got a big hit from someone behind, I think it was Carlos, and tried to not hit the cars that had spun around. I fell back 5 or 6 places. Then after that, just making my way back. I was feeling great. The tires were feeling good. The pace was strong. I went up the inside of Piastri. I don't really know exactly what happened. I obviously got the hit from behind. I think it was a racing incident." 2 years after Lewis Hamilton's devastating loss at Abu Dhabi, Mercedes are all set to take part in another championship decider at the Yas Marina circuit. This time around, however, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff is cautiously optimistic about his chances given the absence of one particular man in the paddock, Michael Masi, per reports on X. Mercedes and Ferrari are locked into an intense battle for P2 in the Constructors' Championship. With just 1 race to go now, Wolff was quoted as saying, "I think we're going there pretty much equal on points. With a proper race director, that should be fine. And then let's race. It's all down to the last weekend." Back in 2021, Hamilton and Max Verstappen went into the finale at Abu Dhabi equal on points. Until the very end, it looked like Hamilton was on course to clinch a historic 8th title. However, a late safety car and a highly controversial decision by the then race director Michael Masi meant that Verstappen pipped Hamilton on the very last lap to secure his maiden F1 title. Since then, Masi's lost that position. Now, Niels Wittich assumes that role. That being said, despite a relatively disappointing Las Vegas GP, where the Silver Arrows lost more ground to Ferrari, Wolff is hopeful of sealing P2 in the championship next week. The duo of Lewis Hamilton and George Russell finished 7th and 8th, respectively. Meanwhile, Ferrari registered a solid P2 with Charles Leclerc and a respectable 6th with Carlos Sainz. Now, with only 4 points separating Ferrari from Mercedes, Toto Wolff believes that the race for supremacy in the standings is still on. During the race, Mercedes never really looked as pacey or comfortable as the prancing horse. Wolff yet believes that the data had predicted otherwise. He explained, "Ferrari are very quick and done a good job. I think we could have been on par today, but the result shows something different. So let's race." Irrespective of the results, both teams will hope to bridge the gap to Red Bull even further in 2024. The second story is Mercedes respond to George Russell clash with Max Verstappen in Las Vegas GP. George Russell took full responsibility for colliding with Max Verstappen, which hampered his race at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Russell started the race 3rd and well-placed for what would have been only a 2nd podium of the year. but he suffered on what proved to be a difficult day for the British drivers. Lando Norris crashed out early and was taken to hospital for checks, while Lewis Hamilton dropped several places at the start and had to fight from the back. To make matters worse, the seven-time world champion then picked up a puncture, which dropped him even further back. In the end, though, Hamilton finished 7th, marginally ahead of Russell. The younger Mercedes driver was ahead on track, but was relegated below his teammate by a 5-second time penalty. He picked that up after turning into Verstappen as the Dutchman tried to overtake. The clash did light damage to both cars, but not enough to stop the Red Bull racer from going on to take victory. But that didn't stop Russell from being punished with that time penalty, which led to him losing points at the end. Despite the disappointment, he held his hands up in his post-race interview and admitted he deserved to be punished for the mistake. "Another massively missed opportunity this weekend," he lamented. "The incident with Max was totally my fault. I didn't see him. Totally in my blind spot going around turn 11. I was expecting the overtake there. You've got the long DRS afterwards. We were on course for an easy podium after. It was pretty straightforward. Recovered to P4, the 5 seconds knocks us down to P8. This season is one thing after another. It was just on the wheel cover. If anything, it would have helped my graining because it would have given me extra cooling. I think we had a few cuts in that tire, so we did the wise thing and changed that set of tires. We recovered P4. Even without the penalty, I would have been disappointed. We should have been on that podium. It would have been a nice way to end the season after such a disastrous one. This tops it off." Russell has podiumed just once this year, despite showing plenty of his quality. But two make mistakes combined with plenty of misfortune have limited what the Brit has been able to achieve in his sophomore year with Mercedes, though he still has a job to do in the final round to help his team beat Ferrari to second place. He added, "Pace was strong, but not as strong as the Red Bulls and the Ferraris. I think when you have a fast car, luck is always on your side. When you're on the back foot, luck is never on your side. Ultimately, we just need to keep on pushing, go into next week, and see what we can do." F1's extravagant and VIP-oriented return to the gambling haven raised eyebrows among F1's traditional fan base. Early teething issues with the track that ended Thursday's FP1 after 9 minutes and led to a delayed FP2 that was closed to spectators further fueled impressions that the series was putting commercial considerations over the sporting product. But Saturday night's action-packed bonanza on the Las Vegas streets put paid to those concerns, with the low-grip conditions and long straights providing a spellbinding race from start to finish that was won by Max Verstappen after a race-long fight with Charles Leclerc. While Verstappen had been openly uncomfortable with the event's focus on off-track entertainment and the hype created around the event, Mercedes driver Hamilton had been one of its staunchest defenders, and he felt Saturday's race had vindicated that support. "The race was great. It was one of the best races," he said. "So many people, all the media, everyone has been so negative about this race and about the show and all that. I was like, just let it be, and let's see how it goes. Great race. This is like Baku, but better." When asked if F1 had done a good job balancing sport and entertainment, he replied, "I haven't seen any entertainment, so I don't really know. I have not been watching that side of things. But as I said, there's just been a lot of negativity about having 3 Grand Prix in the States and people talking about bringing back old classic races from Europe. But this has provided a better race than most of the tracks we go to. So, hats off to the people that run the show, and can't wait to come back and hopefully have a better race here next year." Hamilton's race was derailed by contact with McLaren's Oscar Piastri on lap 16 of 50, which forced both drivers to make an extra pit stop to deal with a puncture. When asked how much higher up he could have finished than 7th, he said, "I have no idea what would be possible, but I'm grateful to get a couple of points at least. But it would have been a podium for sure." The third story is Hamilton's 2013 Mercedes F1 car sells for whopping 18.8 million in auction. Mercedes W04 chassis number 4 was campaigned by Hamilton, who joined the three-pointed star for the 2013 season as teammate to Nico Rosberg to end his 6-year spell at McLaren in 14 of the 19 rounds. Most notably, Hamilton, who would win 6 of his 7 titles with Mercedes' converted pole position to win the Hungarian GP ahead of Lotus driver Kimi Räikkönen and Red Bull's Sebastian Vettel. Of the further 4 podiums he bagged to finish 4th in the Drivers' Championship, 3 were scored, 3rd place in Malaysia, China, and Belgium, aboard this car. Chassis number 4 became the first Hamilton-driven Mercedes F1 car to be offered for public sale, with renowned auction house RM Sotheby's bringing the gavel down in Las Vegas on Saturday for $18.88 million. The car carried a pre-sale estimate of $10.15 million. The auction was held at the Winds Awakening Theater and hosted by TV presenter and writer James Corden. At 39 lots, it was a relatively small sale. A Ferrari race suit believed to have been worn by Schumacher for his 2003 Italian GP victory fetched $102,000. A 1990 Ferrari F40 GT, originally owned by the designer of the Mugello circuit and campaigned in the Italian GT series, failed to hit its reserve, so did not sell on the night.